Hey, everybody. It's Ellie at Horan Poet. I'm so happy to be part of Fly on the Wall Press performance group reading for you today. I've been looking forward to this all week because, my life is challenging to say the least right now, being home with kiddos. And, I don't get to do as much poetry as I like to do. I don't get to see everybody as much. I don't know. It's just hard. You'll see I'm rocking the quarantine hair today. I decided I was upset that my blonde was going, and hey, Val, hey, Steve, um, made the miscalculation of dyeing it myself. So I did get rid of my roots, but it's a bit orange. Thank you, love. You should never do a box of color, and I know that, but I did it anyway. So thank you, Isabel, for having this and hosting this. I think this is such an important thing for us poets to continue to read for each other and, connect in this way. So I thought what I would like to do is read like one poem. I'm not sure how much time I have, Belle. Maybe you can remind me. But read a poem from each of my books. Like, hi, Amy, how are you? I know I'm silly. And it's so hot here today. We had snow like 3 weeks ago, and now it's like 95 degrees. So there's Vermont for you. Um, it's great to see you, Amy. So what I'd like to do is start with a poem from my very first book, which was with Isabel at Fly on the Wall Press. The most amazing. Hi, Donna. Thank you, sweetheart. You're too nice. Um, my very first book, which was just over a year ago. And one that, is so near and dear to my heart. And I was looking before I got here, I took my kids to my in-laws, dropped them off, raced home, sweaty, and like tried to pull myself together. So like always, just a wee bit disorganized, as I think I am the most last-minute poet on the planet for some reason. Um, just give me one little second. Okay. So why not start it off with a doozy, right? This was one of my favorite to read when I was in the UK. People always seem to respond to it. Um, yeah, let me turn off my notifications too so we don't have dings. There we go. We don't want dings and beeps. This poem is called Basement Mother. This I wrote at the very depths of my postpartum depression. You married such a sick woman. Do you regret it now? The way I've tortured us for years, the way I burned the house down. I made the children, I made the beds, left in disarray, tatters, unstable teens haunt me like a rotting womb. The bodies I grew in it, now entombed. Released from me into the light, I seethed and hissed, retreated back down the stairs to my dungeon, dragging a stained placenta. Survived on its nutrients for years in chains, with rats eating shit, my own eyes yellow slits, my vagina locked, breasts defiled. Basement mother only breathes once in a while. Basement mother stays below so their friends won't know of her. Husband will forget in time. Children must move on to survive. The rattling of her saber at night, the dry, wheezing TB lungs, eerie yet palatable when compared to her face at the table in the light. Yeah, the UK tour was absolutely wonderful. Hi, Tom. Thank you for coming. Just wonderful. And I wish, it was like the calm before the storm. I came home and there was COVID and, boo. So it was kind of a bummer. But, we had wonderful memories. And I spoke with David yesterday, David Hanlon, and, I just miss him. And we had such an incredible time together, just like brother, sister, or husband, wife, whatever. But Miss him dearly. So after Bad Mommy Stay Mommy came out in May, my next book was called Odd List, Odd House, Odd Me. And it was my homage to Emily Dickinson and published at Twisted Press with Renee Furrer. So very cool. And I love these poems. This book didn't get the attention it deserved, maybe, but maybe we can fix that going forward. Okay, this poem's called Prosegasm. High notes of autumn slip their sheath. It wouldn't matter the look, the lithe waist, the veined legs, like winter ivy grips the elder tree. What matters was the finger touch, the taste, had delivered me leek and ginger, soothing alchemy, a wizard under robe, really. He does not know the depth of this crisis of internment, my house, my list, my wayward ways of living. White, upon black, upon scarlet. Apathetic is as apathetic does, and I am broken, mired, a black-winged dove. Obscura is the genre, crimson and cracked, shell-prodding toward a fire, I do not know why. I only know how to bend an elbow, make a graceful elliptical L, a shin at such angle, hinging toward the thighs and lap, or perhaps a strong, wide back, or even his heel. I am a supplicant. I would crawl, ripped bodice, inner ear flooded with milk and blood. It makes no difference to me. If the knees are scarified, if the lips are parted, dusted, dry. Moses did such thing to a sea, and you, dear sir, have done such a lurid and magnificent thing to the red velvet lining within me. So that's my Emily. Yay, I love that book. It was so fun to write. You know, home in the winter in the cold Vermont snows and, you know, just channeling Dickinson, who lived, you know, like 2 hours south of me. And so I think I'd like to do one more from Emily's. This one's called Because Spiders Often Eat Their Mates After Copulation, which was one of my trophy titles that I'm very proud of. Reading a spider book to my 7-year-old, and I was like, spiders eating their mates, eh? Yeah, that sounds good for Emily. Okay. Because I did admit to stop, the smoke billowed. Its gray respires hence. Dark heaven clapped once, twice, its throat a quiver agape. To pass me, cloud gulch appriettes its cornicing of lips. I dance, I feign King John's Runnymede heiress, so tickled by these whiskers, his hoary swarth. Let loose my bellows, burned fallow in the ground. A winter girl, it seems, would be the type he chooses to keep, abreast with me. Awed, I felt nothing to take my leave, the pony trap, the sulky pier. Track me, gentle and decent man, as rancor death drives through. I reach blind his horse and look north, so raw and risque, my undead blackened pedipalps. Thank you. So that one's fun. So another little book I did this last year was actually an ebook, and I did that with Moonchild Magazine as a Moonchap with Nadia Gerasimenko, who is such a wonderful editor to work with, and she's so careful and so just fun, and we get along well. So I'd like to read one from Fembox. This one's called Some Fellas Love. And if you're interested in reading that book online, it's free, and you can go to Moonchild Magazine and search out the Moonchap section, and you'll find me there. Some Fellas Love, for Sylvia. Some fellas love a gal, a good old-fashioned gal. A pitter-patter nice to meet you, pin-up doll, pin down, plastic-eyed baby bitch, ass wipe, butt kiss, mother-in-law type of shoe lick. You like 'em like that. You like 'em to listen and mind, to write poems but not go out of their minds. Too bad you missed the boat on that one, honey dear. We fight like dogs for the shameful things. I don't bend over when it wraps around me. I don't eat hungry with a mouthful of ball bearings. I don't give pounds to men who belittle at the sisters at the compound with the asinine people. I fit. I fucking flip. Don't you know this is the way fellas deserve it? Fellas who like to wrap it round like a scarf, like a donut, like a garland rose. Tongue, tongue, this is what fellas love. Tongue, tongue, but I eat it down, down, down. You think I am angry now? Do you think I'll murder the children? Do you think it's more fun with her? Is she thinner than me? Thinner than all the rest of them? All the other women giving fellas what they love, their tongue? Thank you. I like that one. Yay for Sylvia. All right, I'm going to do one more from Fembox. This is called Midwifery. I've read this a few times, but I enjoy reading it. So, Midwifery. Will you lay down with me today? Become my body's compression? Push down so hard on my bones it realigns the cricks in my once malleable spine. I was a gymnast. I was a crook. I was Little Red Riding Hood mounted astride the biggest, baddest wolf. I was karaoke to Cake and Gwen. Flower power, ganja store, and MGD grace. Functioning, making out to some frantic pace. With low life's throwouts and on the fence gaze. No shame did I hide. Climbed aboard cocaine piles, 20-somethings, caterpillar mustache rides. Why not lay down with me here, this platform of motherhood I am defiling? The 42, no 43-year-old age lines. Curve, as do my thighs, into tighter places, unfinished theses. Scientific theory says that the chicken begets the egg. Yet I beget both the ova and the underdeveloped hatchlings. I beget your orgasm, as well as the frightening end which stalks us all, unenlightened as almost all endings, all unravelings. God isn't available today, and my belly goes so untouched. Thank you. I would like to read now from, this is my book I wrote with Adedayo Agaro, my mentee and dear Nigerian poet friend, my brilliant friend. I'm so proud of this book. We both wrote poems from it, and it also features his photography from Ibadan, Nigeria, where he lives. He's a brilliant photographer, Addie is. So I'd like to read a few from this. This one's called ECT, or You Loving Me. Shock treatment is for me. Bridge programs. So easy, the walk down the hall. The IV, the vomiting, the need for a driver at 2 p.m. And some deeply tinted Jackie O glasses. The other option, your trench coat. I could get into its muster. I could swear myself over to you, Chief. And you could throw the sink out the window. Rip its pipes up from the linoleum. And I could not chew the gum. And I could not let them cut me open. Near or on the location of my deformity at the temple. And I could not let them win. And I could not let them win. Like they did when I was young. Before, when I was Nicholson. Thank you. And this one's called At 3 a.m. When I rise, I'm in your arms. I'm a fluttering stroke, a limp rose, a necessary alter ego. When I am alone, you see I'm embarrassing. I skulk about in the wee hours, telling God I've been forgotten, telling the angels I go about so blatant, so untouched. Yet with hands such as yours, might as well be made of sand. The way they enter, they find their way around my open doors, spreading, parting, everywhere. They filter through the slatted light, down, 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 as if I were their ocean floor. and that they might settle between my hips, float and shimmer upon my arcing chest. It rises to greet your moon, it's white upon black, upon skin, upon bone, my waves no longer my own. See, they undulate to the stroke. Such fingers as this, the touch of these magical wands, holy feminine bliss. Tsunami comes crashing down. Once I feel the weight of your gift mouth upon my wet and salted lips, I stretch upwards towards your kiss. Mwah. I like that one. It makes me happy. How's everyone doing? Thank you for watching and hanging in here with me. I appreciate it a lot. Another big book I did this year was my self-portrait book, which is ekphrastic poetry I wrote about Frida Kahlo's artwork, and worked really hard on this one. It's out at Cephalo Press, and it's also fully translated in Spanish, which is super cool. So I'll just do a couple from these, and these are bilingual, so when you hear me break into in and out of Spanish, that's why. Okay. This one's called Pensando en Diego, Thinking About Diego. 43. Climbing the pyramid in Teotihuacan, you tell me you love me as a man falls 10 steps, his arm badly broken, hikes the rest of the way back down the steep stairs with his son who is crying. We shrug and make out, tongue-tied babies, 19-year-old playmates, measuring the world in hotels and dancing. Later, at el Museo de Arqueológico, me dices, quiero subirte en la cripta y hacerte el amor. It's the best thing I've ever heard. Make love as only a Mexican can, selfish, incessant, with lips to die for. I paint you upon my eyebrow so you will remember me. Un tatuaje de la vida que tuvimos antes, hace tiempo. And there goes the man with his boy, full arm cast in white. They are looking at artifacts from the time of Quetzalcoatl. And you and I smile at each other and kiss. We kiss till it feels like a strangle. So this book is, it's about Frida Kahlo, but it's also about me and the way our lives have had some parallels and connections. And she's like a artist, poet, soul sister to me, so I love her very much, and I wanted to do this tribute for her so the world could give her the stage again. And this one's called Lo que somos, What We Are, from 1929 to 1944. Obviously a big part of her life and about my book is regarding Diego Rivera. So, somos eso que vuela hacia el sol, quemado, falls charred and broken back to the earth. The thing which evokes the tantalizing jaguar makes a trap, hides the bone, then eats it himself. Casado es el cazador. So many times I lost you as my lover. So many times the way my heart came out of my body as you went to her side. Las mujeres de la vida are like food to you. They make you full. They make you strong. So excellent for your health. Look how robust and older. We are the men of jovial pride. I am a man I could have been. I long to be, for I too would have fallen in love with me. Danced with women half my age, felt their lithe arms around my waist, turned their chins to the moonlight to kiss them, to use them. I cannot escape you. Look at how we have become the same thing, this entwining of the arteries. The operation to separate our skulls, our zippered torsos at the seams, they must kill us. Ancient freak couple, decrepit and broken, my whole stupid life, paloma tuya, volando arriba en el cielo para siempre. Diego Rivera, you were always near the wheelchair. You were my legs, my strength, my heart. And I, your one and only dove. So that's my Frida. It makes me happy. I worked so hard on that book, and It's a special thing for me. I was looking for my copy of Alcoholic Betty before we started, and I didn't find it. So I'm going to just pull that up because I really want to read some Alcoholic Betty for you. We published this at Fly on the Wall Press this last February 15th. And, again, working with Isabel, just such an honor and such a wonderful editor and so careful. And so, this was a really hard book to write and also very, very hard to edit. It's about my struggle with addiction for 20 years of my life. And, that can be pretty hard to go revisit and send out into the world. And I was scared. And I still feel scared often about it being out there and who might read it and what they might think. And, so I appreciate Isabel and all the love and support. And she went slowly and gently with me getting this out. And getting to go to the UK at the end of February, really helped me. Like, I always kind of felt like, why did I publish this? Was this worth it? What made me feel like I needed to do this? And when I went to the UK, people responded to it really deeply and would come up and hug me and say, my sister was an alcoholic, or my mom had a drug problem. And, I just resonated with me so much and give me a hug and say thank you for the bravery of writing it. And so that makes it feel completely worthwhile. Now I feel that way. So I'd like to read a couple from Betty. This one is called Soneto de Tomar. Dame otra, another cerveza. Se siente rica, cool upon my lips. Beside the sea, they catcall me, gringa. It's not a nice saludo. In fact, it's awful. Me pide si me gusta el sexo. My head is spinning. Mira, la gringa está vacilando ya. Ha 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 ha. I don't know what they mean, but I know I am the joke. Year old moments before at the bar, hotel. Me quiere violar. Me quiere matar. Me sigue. I cannot see. I cannot breathe. Ya estoy vacilando. Ya la gringa. The joke is on me. Que sigo tomando. And I'd like to read this one called In the Ward. I was hospitalized in a mental health ward for twice, once when I was 16 and once when I was 17, and it's affected my life deeply in many ways. And, it helps me to write about it because it seems very surreal that happened to me. And it's so stigmatized to be hospitalized for mental illness, and it's just regular people who went too deep and couldn't find their way out, So this is called In the Ward. I am good for nothing in the ward. Christy's here for sucking off the principal. Linda's here for the sliced up arms. Deanna bangs her head on the wall, dump, 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 her patch of bald shiny as a kettle. Brianna and Sarah, what a pair. They don't eat. They are so strong. They are lighter than air. They don't give in. Don't stash the brownies like me. Fat pig. Nurse Patty found it. Tisk, tisk, Elisabeth. For hiding your food. Fodder for art therapy tomorrow. I will draw a picture of a fucking fudge brownie. Like a pile of shit smudged on my face. Punishment for being so disgusting. For wanting a brownie. For hiding the brownie in my pocket at the dining hall, fingering the saran wrap, holding its crumbs in like an invisible jog bra, getting to my room, saving it for later, under my journal, top drawer, side table. Dump, dump, dump. Her head's got it in for the wall tonight. Teapot seeks its bald Frankenstein. Linda's in the bathroom with a stolen Gillette razor, savoring the blood as it slithers down her elbow. Christy is incorrigible with the head resident again. She taunts him, if you let me suck your dick, I promise I'll eat my meds. Brittany and Sarah come freewheeling down the hall. smiling at each other, proud of tonight's numbers on the scale. 74, 72, starving happily, feeding tube in place of a belly piercing. Amenorrhea has taken hold of their reproductives. I want to be them, so thin, so strong, they don't steal food or cave into desire. I imagine stuffing the shit brownie in my fucking fat-ass face. Then Nurse Patty comes in for night check. Tisk, tisk, Elizabeth, she says, as she flushes it down the toilet. I think what I'd like to do now is read a few from my upcoming book, which is my conversation with Sylvia Plath in her kitchen in the moments before she commits suicide. I feel a deep kinship with Plath. I feel like I understand what it's like to have the monster in your head and to fight it all the time. And you know, sometimes we can't fight the demons and we give in. Sometimes we can fight them and be there for our children. And ultimately, I just feel like I understand how she lost that fight and gave in, which is so sad. But I think, again, we can't really judge people for taking their lives because we don't know how painful it was and how sick our minds can become when things get that out of control with bipolar and PMDD and postpartum. And I think probably she had all three of those. And I've researched that, and it's a very, good recipe for suicide, unfortunately. So I feel lucky that I survived the postpartum depression that I suffered. And anyway, it's just her and I talking about poetry and motherhood and how do you write poems and survive and not go out of your mind and these questions. So I'll read a couple from this. This one's called The Pledge. This book will be coming out this year. I can't say who's publishing it yet. I probably could, but I haven't for sure agreed with the editor that we could talk about it, so I'll wait. It'll be exciting news, but I'm hoping it'll come out in the fall. Feels like a fall book. So anyway, The Pledge. The woman, imperfect, defective and so alive, stares back vacant-eyed. The snake in his peekaboo hole, four-cornered containment, an open fly, a tangy piss hole. Hissing things, fanged things, child torture is the lot of us. I think I was a good girl, but then again I pinched the babysitter's toddler till his fat wail stuck the silence, ran my name across the wall in pig's blood. Young lady, did you do this? No, I answered, but I did indeed. And I hung loogies over small-faced siblings, cackling pie of white crap in their preteen sky. Latchkey kids, no folks at home. The moon with her snickering bone. Laughing, laughing cobra, hooded bitch, rings the garish nipples, knowing that happiness begins and ends at home. She's seen this before. The woman is undead, dragging behind her beheaded neck. Motherhood march times infinity. So guilty she goes to ground alone. Well, that's my channeling of Plath. Plath and me intertwined as one. Here's another one I'd like to read from that. They're all pretty intense, but you know what? Sylvia is intense, and I felt like if I did not go all out, she would chastise me from the grave and say, the fuck were you doing, bitch? If you're gonna try to channel me, you better go all out, right? Oh, I tried to go all out. This one's called So Lush, the Dystopian Eden. I cannot mother them. I can mother them. I cannot keep alive. I must keep alive. This joker face, plastered white with cherry bombs, sickening sweet. Taste it, the hive invites you in. The rotten eyes swell like briefs. Looking at you reminds me of my father. He would say, "Act right, daughter." And you would say, "Act right, wife, mother." Yet you act like a sphincter, tightening, relaxing at all the wrong moments. Like when you, sorry, I lost my place. Like when I spilled my vodka on your sister's dress and then screamed, "Oh, go fuck your." You smiled calmly and said, "Relax, it's just that time of the month." And when I held the children as you fucked the night away, you came home a Hitler and blasted the youth despite their bluest eyeballs. And my pubic hair has as much blonde potential as hers. Thank you. Sorry, I stumbled a little bit there. I need to practice these more. This is the last poem of the book. Me with her in the moments before she goes. And it's called Just to the Right of the Stove, the title poem. And maybe I'll end on this one. I think maybe the timing is right. Isabel, you can let me know what you think. Okay. Just to the right of the stove. You are so brilliant. That million filament line, the gold baby, all the teeth. How do you know those words? The death. I've a call, you know. I once wrote that. You should remember, if anything, that. You have 2 boys, yes? 2 boys, yes. May I ask about it? Do you think about what? Think about the oven, of course. I mean, not Auschwitz. The little one, she said, changing subjects. Do you have a Ted? She interrupts me more than I had previously considered. Kind of. I have a Joshua. Does he take your words and eat them? No, not yet. Well, he will. You will learn by watching me. If I cook the words out of my head, then there will be nothing left for supper now, will there be? No, there won't be, but the babies. What of the babies? She lunges towards me. You know that they will be better off without me. You said that yourself, remember, so adroitly. I did, I guess, but I didn't mean it like that. Elisabeth, let me ask you something. Are you a real poet, or are you one of them? Aren't you hungry for fire, for hair, for paternal flames, too scared to be like me? I thought so, just a mediocre woman. The oven is hot. I hold her by the hips and resist until her trousers pull down and her panties scratch off, and I scrape at her thin hips. They are so white, so purpled with sad words. My nails are down to the quick, lost talons in her paper skin. I lose a shoe. I knock out a tooth upon the door of the stove. I curse the melting derma, her rotting face, her useless cave, the Luftwaffe and the gobbledygoo. I swear off her daddy, and mine too. Sandy blood flowers and goddamn enjambment type, heaving insides of words, crisis debtors of isolation, deep pulse brain therapy, 2 weak poems in 2 days as she goes. I hover, unsure what to do. I notice a pen hanging from a string attached to a clipboard. Take your meds has been scribbled above the grocery list, just to the right of the stove. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for hanging out and watching me. I appreciate it so much. What an honor and extreme pleasure to get to read for everybody today. So thank you, Isabel. Thank you, Fly on the Wall Press Performance Group. Amazing. May you all have a lovely day. Forgive the quarantine hair, the quarantine mom, such spaz. But we got through it. I love y'all so much. I'm gonna finish, and many hugs and kisses for safety, and take care of yourselves. Bye.